Welcome back to Miss Eddie's Math Movies, where it's cute to be a square. Today's lesson is on section 3.4, Properties of Parallel Lines. After today, you should be able to know many things about parallel lines. The first thing we're going to talk about is what happens with the corresponding angles of parallel lines, which you did an activity on yesterday. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, so here's your picture, here's your transversal, the corresponding angles are, and you learned that the corresponding angles are congruent. They have the same measure. So 1 is the same as 5. They're in the same spot, they're corresponding, and they're congruent. 2 is in the same spot as, well, who's corresponding with 2? 6. 3 is in the same spot as 7, and 4 and 8 are congruent. They have the same measure. So let's practice that postulate, that rule. All right, we'll look at 6 and 60. They are corresponding, and since the lines are parallel, we know the corresponding angles are equal. So 6 is 60 degrees. Look, the lines are parallel again, and these angles are corresponding, so 5 has to be 135 degrees. Lines are parallel, 2 and 90 are corresponding, and we know corresponding angles are congruent, so 2 is 90. All right, you get to do the checkpoint. Do this now. Use what you know about corresponding angles. All the lines are marked as parallel, so you know information about the corresponding angles. The next set of angles we're going to talk about are alternate interior. And we learned that if the parallel lines are cut by a transversal, the alternate interior are also congruent. So 3 is congruent to 6, and 4 is congruent to 5. Find the measure of angle PQR. PQR, this angle right here. Well, notice these angles are alternate interior, and since the lines are parallel, these angles are equal. PQR, this angle right here, I see alternate interior angles, and in parallel lines, the alternate interior angles are congruent. PQR. Alternate interior angles, since the lines are parallel, the alternate interior angles are equal. All right, now it's your turn to practice your alternate interior angles. Notice the lines are marked parallel in each section. The next set of angles we are talking about, the alternate exterior. So if the lines are parallel and they're being cut by a transversal, the alternate exterior are also congruent. What a surprise. So 1 is congruent to 8 because they're alternate exterior, and 2 is congruent to 7 because they are alternate exterior. In this example, we have to find two different angles. We have to find 1 and 2. Well, let's see, I see the 75 here, and I see some alternate exterior angles. And I know my alternate exterior angles are equal because of this. So I'm going to put 75 here. So I know that 2 is 75 because of alternate exterior. But now 1, well, look at 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are making a line, and a line has 180 degrees in it. So if I already have 75 degrees, how many more do I need? Since they're forming a linear pair, they have to make 180. I already have 75. So I'm going to subtract 75 from 180, and I need 105 more degrees. So angle 1 is 105, and angle 2 is 75. All right, you do this now. Notice the lines, once again, are marked as parallel. You need to find the missing angle. I believe it's all alternate exterior angles here. Same side interior. Now these are the special ones. This is different than all of the others. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, the same side interior angles are supplementary. If you remember, supplementary means together they make 180. So this is the special one. So if we were just going to review here, the corresponding angles are congruent, the alternate interior angles are congruent, the alternate exterior angles are congruent, and the same side interior equal 180. So that's your special one that you have to remember. It's different than all the others. So let's do some examples. Find the measure of the numbered angle, angle 5. Well, let's look at, here's angle 5, and we've got 80. Well, these are on the same side inside, so they have to make 180. I already have 80 degrees. That means I need 100 more. All right, so I need to find angle 6. I've got same side interior have to equal 180. So I already have 130. That means I need 50 more to get to 180. Now we're going to use those same principles, but we're going to use some algebra with it. So find x. Let's look at where x is. X is right here, and 125 is here. These angles are corresponding. If you remember, corresponding angles have to be equal. So x plus 15 has to equal 125. So we need to subtract 15 from both sides, and I end up with 110. All right, this last section is using some algebra. I want you to do this now. Make sure you watch out for what kind of angles they are. Use the review that we did above. Use this information to figure out what kind of equation. It's either going to be congruent or equal to 180. Right? It's one or the other. Make sure you know which one is which. Well, that's all for today. This is M Cubed signing out.